Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kuura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and meta rodder, and thanks for tuning in once again with another Orimeda collaborative art stream here with a very dear friend of mine. I understand streams have been kind of on and off as far as what I've been able to set up is concerned over the last couple weeks. Aside from a couple that I've already had planned down the pipeline, it's been kind of crazy getting ready to set up for my 4-year anniversary here in just a little under a week and a half at this point. And wow, just so much prep work that has to go into setting all that up and putting it all together. But no, it's really exciting. I've got maybe one or two more things to set up between now and then, but otherwise, it's all set up. After tonight's stream, I probably will be kind of stepping back from streams as far as the week is concerned, so I can prepare properly for my 4-year anniversary. But that is neither here nor there at this time. That aside, though, as I said, we will be doing yet another collaborative Orimeda art stream with another very dear friend of mine, one that actually has been on the channel before, no less. Much like it was with Emeraldo last week, this friend in particular also has been on the channel when I had the Outsmarted collab a number of months ago, which I like to believe was a pretty fair success as far as how it went. But with that being said, I am going to go ahead and officially introduce my guest here as we get started. GRIMALKIN, how are you doing tonight?
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming in with us. Thank you so much for gracing the MNN tonight. How have you been?
I've been good, busy, but loving life.
I definitely understand how that is. And I really do appreciate you being able to take some time to stop in on the channel and have some fun for a while. I honestly like to believe that the collaborative Orimeda streams have been fairly successful as far as the designs are concerned and the streams as a whole, but I'm very excited because every time I have a guest on, there's no telling what we're going to be coming up with because I frankly don't even know what it's going to be until like the night of. So I'm excited for this.
I'm too. I've been watching all the streams and seeing all the different ones you've made.
Honestly, I think we're gonna have a good time here, and yeah. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in and get started since we're both ready to go. How have you been in the last while aside from usual IRL stuff? I've seen you've been fairly busy on your channel as well. Anything down the pike or anything that you want to mention?
Um, Tuesday I've been doing a lot of arts and crafts streams recently with hand cam. So I think on Tuesday we're gonna pull out a diorama, which I brought up to you a couple
Uh huh.
minutes ago.
Uh
I'm
huh.
gonna do that, and then just other random collabs that come along.
Gotcha. That honestly sounds really excited though. What made you want to start doing a diorama?
So everybody that knows me know I have a gnome fetish. I
Okay.
love gnomes and everything like that. So I was like, I'm gonna make dioramas and I'm gonna have gnomes put in them. And
Okay.
then I was like, well, I should kind of start off small. So I went to like my local art shop and I found like a little bedroom diorama piece. So that's
Okay.
how I'm gonna get up into it.
Honestly, that's an exciting way to do it though, because there's so many different ways that you can take dioramas like that with styles, with approaches, and the nice thing is that even if someone takes the exact same theme that you did, you're never going to see the same one twice. There's always going to be
Oh
even just the
yeah.
most minute details that are going to be so vastly different compared to something else, and it's honestly really nice to see that as as a form of expression, essentially.
Because I mean, decoration, like the mind is vast when it comes to creativity.
Indeed.
So I'm really excited about it.
Well, I think that's definitely going to be a very exciting very exciting art stream on your end as well. So I'm very excited for you. I'm looking forward to it. And once again, thank you so much for taking a couple hours to spend some time here with me on the MNN as we do some arting.
Of course.
With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead check some things here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my BGM up and running just so I can have that so it's not quiet the whole time. Then usually same rules apply. If it's too loud or too soft for the chat, just let me know and I can turn it up or down. So that being said, as we go ahead and officially get started, let me go ahead and get my let me go ahead and get my things set up here. Hold on. 1,000, not 200. Thank you. my canvas all set up here to my usual templates. Have my ruler. Okay. Alrighty, so, as far as the Orimeda is concerned, though, I did give you the same assignment as I did all my other previous guests for this, and that's simply to play around with a random generator until you came up with a couple designs and prompts that you really, really liked. However, it looks like you only brought me one this time around, which honestly is still fantastic, as it tells me that you really didn't have to take a lot of time to think about this one, and that's honestly really nice too, because it saves a lot of deliberation on our end too as we set this up. But let me go ahead and put this up here on the side. There we go. So the Orimeda of tonight has a kit of Hyper Thunder. Turn this down just a little bit so I can actually see everything. There we go. Hyper Thunder, Meta Rose, Hold. And then you had Sea Legs with Marine up. And what was the heavy limit on that, by the way? I don't think I saw that at all.
Let me see. Did they even give? Well, I'm pretty sure they gave me it.
Okay. And it's fine if you can't find it immediately. We can always improvise. Worst comes to worst. So I'll just do variable for the time being.
Okay.
Alright, not a big deal. One other thing I'm mentioning, though, just as I'm double-checking on some settings, would you mind terribly if you turned your mic up just a little bit on your end? Because you are kind of falling a little mute.
Oh, okay, my bad.
There we go, that's better. Okay. Alrighty, so, we have our design that we're going to be playing around with. How about you tell me just a little bit about it? Like what kind of made you settle decide this is the one that I want to work with?
Okay, before I answer that, the heavy limit was 2.
Heavy limit of 2, got it. Alright,
yes.
that makes it fun. Alrighty, so, tell me about this prompt. What kind of made you want to decide this is it, compared to wanting to come up with, like, 3 or 4 and then deliberate over them?
I really liked the thunder aspect and everything. Like, I really didn't have, like, a big picture for it. It was mainly just, like, the names that I saw. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Because when I thought about, like, the way I pictured it, and, like, it went perfectly with the marine up and everything. So when it came out, I think this was, like, the 4th generator or, like, cycle I went through.
Okay.
And it just perfectly matched.
All right. So you were more focused on it thematically than you were anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. And honestly, though, that's still a pretty solid aspect, because Hyper Thunder is an ailment type of attack that stuns enemies in their tracks, and the Hyper version of it basically is just more aggressive at the cost of not being able to protect yourself in cooldown. Meta Rose, of course, is a specialty skill that inflicts both fire and wave, and as a gunpowder skill as an added attribute. Hold is another negative ailment that excels in slowing down the enemy and making it a lot easier for hits to land. Sea Legs also means it has fairly solid coverage on most terrains, and Marine Up honestly takes its mastery on aquatic terrain and amps it up about 3-fold, in ways that it grants 30% more to all leg stats, and then grants an auto charge and an auto repair leg ability on top of that. So honestly, it makes it very clear, at least to me up front here, from a outside looking in initial perspective, this one's definitely designed to make life as annoying as possible for the enemy party.
Well, that's perfect. That's what I love to hear.
So just between these alone, you have 4 different types of negative ailments that you can inflict on the enemy at once. Meta Rose in particular being able to land fire and wave at the same time. And as a friendly reminder, wave and hold may be of the same attribute, but they are stackable, because one inflicts no dodge, the other one inflicts no defend. So between all 3 skills here, you can really lay waste to a lot of things very easily, based on the based on how you choose to use this particular mastery.
Oh, okay.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on trying to figure out what this thing is supposed to look like. So, granted, my assignment to you was to not show this to me until showtime, so we could try to approach this as blindly as possible. But you, on the other hand, having held on to this for so long, Did you have any particular ideas or themes with this that you kind of wanted to kind of set a direction with, like things that you were thinking about as this week was progressing?
Okay, so to be honest with you, I thought of course, with the whole aquatic theme of it, I thought of water a lot, so a lot of blues.
Okay.
But like, I kind of thought like a rose gold too.
Okay. So like a rose gold.
With like a rose gold thunderbolt on like the chest.
Okay. I can kind of see it. What are some particular themes that you were thinking about? Like any kind of animal or a theming? What kind of stood out to you with this one?
Type of animal.
It can be an animal, it can be a machine, it can be an object, something to kind of help give it shape.
Okay, I'll give. Oh, what if we did a toaster? Like an object toaster.
I could see
very
it.
out there.
I could see
it's
it.
Very out there.
What's hilarious is that there actually are a couple of toaster types canonically in
really?
the series. They really aren't all that impressive. They're just kind of there for a little funny, but no, there actually are a couple of toasters that do exist already.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I'll have to show them to you after stream. They're actually quite hilarious. One of them was part of an appliance series, a series of appliance types that came out of, I think it was Metal 4, I think. I'll have to go back and check that again. But yeah, it's a very unique series. But looking as well between this, you have two different ways of being able to slow an enemy down. One being able to also apply a damage over time, and one that stuns them. So we have a lot of different ways that we can do this. And the sea legs also give us a little more freedom with the design, given that it doesn't have to necessarily fit any kind of mold, such as say like a bipedal leg or a fishtail leg, and it kind of gives us a little more room to work.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So we have a lot of different ways we could consider this. My first initial reaction was maybe like a kind of like a sea urchin of some kind or something similar, but that's just the first initial thought that came to me.
Sea urchin, that could be really cool. Because they have spikes, don't they? Yeah.
They do, and they are actually considered toxic.
Ooh.
No, not toxic. Venomous. I'm sorry. Toxic is if you ingest. Venomous is if you get poked. That's right. But yeah. So it'd be something along those lines, which definitely would work very well. Let me take a look.
What if you do a sea urchin, but instead of it being like the points, they kind of look like a thunderbolt, like the little zigzag.
I could think of some ideas like that. Kind of like the first thought that comes to mind is something kind of like you know with the recent Pokemon generations, a Pincurchin.
Mm-hmm.
It's the little pincushion, little pincushion buddy. That's like I think it's basic electric, I believe. But it's held dex entries where things like if the spines break off, they still have electrical charge or something.
Oh, that's cool.
It's amazing the little flavor text that goes behind those things. But yeah, let me take a look here at some ideas of things we can consider. Let me think. Just looking at some pictures of sea urchins as well to kind of give me an idea for a visual, and if you come up with any other ideas similar to that, definitely feel free to shoot them out there too, because this isn't just my design, this is our design. This is something that we're putting together for it. Let me think. Look at all the pictures. A lot of pictures of very spiny boys, which is kind of to be expected. But lots of different colors and typings we could do, and I'm kind of getting some ideas on how we could do it. But what sort of things we could do? Okay, hold on. I'm thinking of something here.
Oh, that looks really pretty, huh?
Okay, cool. Well, what if we do... I'm gonna reposition myself real quick here. Hold on. There we go.
You're good.
Let me see. So I'm thinking of something creative. Let's try... I have a vision in my mind, and I'm gonna try to see if I can put a rough visualization of it here while we're putting this together.
Yeah, like a little sketch.
Yeah, that's usually what I run. So what if we do something like... If I can get a proper spherical shape, there we go, something like that. Hold on, I don't
Oh, you know, it'd be cool if they have like the spikes on their head.
I had an idea actually, kind of similar to that. So let me hear me out on this as when I put this together real quick and see if we kind of have the same vision. So
Okay.
Let's try. Like this. I had an idea for the shoulder, but let me get to that in a minute. Maybe, oops.
Oh, that's cute. I might have to somehow make this into a cosplay.
Like...
Oh, wow.
You're seeing where I'm coming with this, though, right?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
And I'm thinking maybe something like a small, maybe like a point that it can balance on from the bottom of the foot. Like that, maybe. That would be hiding underneath here.
Like that little sticker type thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe... I think I have something in my mind with this.
Let the creativity flow.
Try something like this. Do something maybe really extravagant here.
Oh, I like the hat.
That's what I'm thinking. Something kind of like this to kind of help it set apart.
It makes me think of the mom off of Hunter x Hunter.
Which regrettably I've not seen, but I've heard very good things about.
I mean, it's good. It's not for everyone, but it's alright. Like with anything, it has its slow parts.
Which is what I've heard about it as well, yeah. Actually, hold on. Back to this real quick. I can... This. Let's see.
Oh, that's cute with it on the brown. I like that.
I want to make sure this one makes it very clear not to touch. This one offers bad touch. So far, let's also do... I like that, essentially.
I like the spikes on it.
Let me hide the eye a little bit in here. Actually, I'll think about that later. I have an idea. For the head, the shoulders, to kind of balance it out just a little bit, fill it in.
What you thinking?
My idea is maybe something kind of similar to the shape we have already. Kind of give it like a cuff. Oh, oops, hold on. I just realized my ruler is not on. I need that. Maybe kind of like... Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of widen the shoulder a little bit.
Perfect.
Some smaller ones on the side. Something kind of like this is what I'm thinking.
I like that.
Kind of going with a, or at least the theme that came to mind was maybe like a, maybe to add a little bit of gothic to it. You can kind of see where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I can see where you're going.
We'll just have to see how we can figure this out.
One second. I can step away for a quick second.
Sounds good. Figure this out in the meantime as well. Shape right, there we go. My ruler sets. Oh, I know why my ruler was set so high. I was working on other stuff before. I never changed it back. Oops. I'm gonna work my way down, up from down. So let's do.
I'm back. I had to get my ice cream from the fridge.
Ice cream's always good.
Yep.
What flavor?
It's caramel cone.
Ooh, good choice.
It has little ice cream cone chunks. Oh, I love that. I might have to have you decorate and like design things for me.
I mean, hey, I'm always open for commission, you know.
I'm gonna have to take you up on that offer. Make me like a cool little robot. That's really cute though.
Right. Panic, maybe, perhaps that a can of cores was an idea. I mean, that's a possibility too. I mean, you'd be surprised, you know, you see all these OC generator and creators that you see that are all over the place on a lot of different art forums. Honestly, this is kind of in the same vein that we're doing, is just coming up with a very unique design based on prompts that we were given as a collaborative effort. Yeah, well, right about
Yep, that rounds it out perfectly.
That's what I'm looking for. I like that.
Mom makes me think of like little blades.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm shooting for too with the dress, or the skirting, I should say, and then kind of work from the outside, or from the underside going up. So. No.
I feel like the spikes will look cool if it's like that rose gold look.
Yeah, once we get into the color of it too, that'd be really helpful. Especially since we kind of went with the design of Gothic with it too. That would definitely make it... Actually, I take it back. Since we're going with the rose gold color too, that actually does kind of give us a direction with the color. So instead of... And I was trying to think of this word earlier and I couldn't think of it. Maybe not Gothic per se, it's Masquerade. Oh. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, I can see that.
Something you'd see it like a... kind of like a Ren Fair or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think that fits it perfectly. Especially because of the hat.
Yes, especially when I get down to figuring that part out. Something like that. Let me clean this up a little. Okay, like that. Balance that out a little better. Like that.
Great.
Like that so far. Okay, so what am I gonna do for this? I liked the idea I had before. That. An idea for this. Let's clean up some.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where you're going with the hat.
Yeah, I have kind of a vision in my head, but it's definitely going to be subject to change if as development progresses.
That's normal.
Figuring. Oh, yeah, actually, it's line. I'm actually thinking about making this maybe kind of like a witch hat to a point where it kind of like hangs down off the back. What do you think?
I'm loving that. It's making me think of Soul Leader.
Okay.
There's a witch in the show called Blair. And she has a hat that like hangs back a little bit.
Yeah, something kind of like that essentially. And then we just play with the brim.
I like that.
And so we'll do that. Also add.
But yeah, the spikes are a must-have.
Yes, that is definitely very important for something that says do not touch. Because if you do touch, you're going to be the one in trouble, not me.
The world's full of pain.
Oh, I was seeing more comments about it in the recent. Have you heard about the, hold on. The, recent Twitter outage that just happened?
No, I didn't. There was a Twitter outage?
So, there was like a whole 24, actually not even 24, more like 36-hour period where like nobody's DMs worked.
Oh, wow.
Apparently I heard that they had like a server fire or something, or a server failure, one of the two.
I mean, that's not shocking though. They keep having like little, like, what's the word? They've been having a lot of server outages, and some people can't get on Twitter. Some people can't even look at like their own page.
Which checks out, honestly.
I mean, it makes sense.
Like aim the line right. Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
There we go, like that. That's a little better.
There we go.
It doesn't help when you've had to retrain your brain on how to draw by not looking at your hand, because I don't have enough money to afford one of those like really fancy screen tablets. It'd be nice eventually,
yeah,
but
I have the same type.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't quite have that money, so I just have to make do with what I have.
I mean, I like mine. You know, it is weird at first because usually when you're drawing like that, you want to look at the tablet while you do it.
Yes.
But you like to look at the screen and feel your way around. You get used to it after a while.
Yes, it definitely took a lot of Took a lot of getting used to. I think. Okay. I'm gonna reverse the order of it so that I have an idea. So aside from that outage in particular, has there anything going on in your circles that, like you said, was down the pike aside from your art diorama that you're planning? Any any incoming collabs or events that you're prepping for?
Mainly to talk still about like the little problems. I know a lot of people have been having like OBS problems. I had for like the past, I want to say the beginning of this month. It was horrible. I couldn't even stream for like 30 minutes without everything crashing down.
For some reason, I've supposedly heard about that too. That I've been hearing about friends having to like completely reinstall their OBSs and everything. What's that been about? I've actually not noticed.
I really don't know. A lot of people say it was my internet, which like it did work a lot better once I figured that whole thing out. But it wasn't a problem until I updated my OBS.
Okay, so maybe it was just a patch that went bad or something.
I think that's what it is, because I kind of had to delete everything, like bring it back up and reload everything for like since like the past like year and a half, and it's been perfect now. So I think that had something to do with it, to be honest.
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if it was something along those lines. Because you know how they love to come up with some random bug, and some random patch and say, alright, everybody needs this, go upgrade. And then the upgrade ends up breaking things.
For real, it's like everything that was like perfect and working great, now it's like, no! Go back again.
That do be how it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. The little eye detail.
Trying to help this one stand out just a little bit.
It most definitely is. But yeah, other than that, I mean, work-wise, it's just been a lot of, you know, playing art, doing a lot of different things. Usually, I try to plan out collabs a month in advance. So I kind of know what we're going to be doing in June.
Nice.
And right now in May, I don't really know. We're just going to have to feel for it.
Sometimes it's always good to plan ahead like that, because if something happens, leading up to development, you can still kind of find ways around it.
Oh yeah, you can kind of like find somebody to like fill in, or if you have, I like to have at least like 3 backup streams ideas.
Exactly.
So in case I got to go by myself, I'll have something and we'll be like, okay guys, we have to cancel.
Yeah, I've thought about setting up a couple things like that too on the back end. I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm still trying to transition out a new balance in the work schedule so far.
Oh, I get that. I had to shift mine. I might actually be, so I stream on Tuesdays, Sundays, and Saturdays.
Uh-huh.
So I've been, as of right now, my schedule is cleared up fully, so I might start streaming almost every day of the week. But I don't know for sure. So I have to figure that all out.
That's cool.
Like how the chest, I just realized what the chest makes me think of. It makes me think of a little horseshoe.
Horseshoe? I could see it.
It made me think about when I was a kid, we used to have, what's it? I don't know if it's called horseshoe toss, what it's called, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cute. Right, can I find a picture of that? Let me see.
Let me see. Titanic probably bugged out for you, my timeline for a little bit, but that's about it. Yeah, that's kind of what I noticed too. Like, my timeline was kind of off, but I didn't notice anything different per se. But theoretically, a lot of people said, yeah, their DMs were completely busted. They couldn't talk to anybody. And the rumor I heard in passing was that there was a server fire. Like, they actually had one of their servers set on fire, and that's what was throwing everything off.
Setting it ablaze.
Yeah, but given the kind of toxicity that you see on there, are you at all surprised?
No, not really. But you know what? Now that we're actually like really talking about it, the other day I could not see any posts on my timeline, so I think that could be what it was.
That's most likely it, yeah. That's most likely what folks have been referring to, yeah, is the fact that they can't, their feeds weren't refreshing like they should have been. A lot of stuff was basically repeats of stuff they've already liked or seen before. So that would check out.
But I mean, that's one of the reasons personally I like to tell people not to. You know how you can get like the little Twitter Blue or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I kind of tell
paid
people don't be putting your credit card info in these social media sites. They get tapped all the time.
Oh yes, they absolutely do. I tried it for a while just to say that I did, and because they like to advertise with it, you know, you get extra reach and everything like that, but frankly, I really didn't see too much of a difference. Like, yeah, the biggest thing that you'd definitely be able to make use of is the fact that you can edit tweets within a certain timeline of you posting them. So, like, if you notice a spelling mistake or catch an issue, like with scheduling, like if you're putting a stream together or something, you can catch it pretty early on. But
yeah,
otherwise, I didn't see a lot of difference with it. It was honestly kind of negligible, so I was kind of disappointed. I did not renew.
I know a couple friends, they tried to get me to do it. I was like, no.
I'd say
I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, now if they had a light version of it that you could try that's relatively the same feature, then I'd say, yeah, that'd be one thing. But with this one, I didn't see enough of a difference to warrant doing it a second time around.
That's understandable.
Get this line. Sorry. Okay. I've also been seeing a lot of reviews coming in for the new Disney movie that came out recently, Lilo and Stitch, and needless to say, I've not heard a lot of people say they're overly impressed with it.
I hate the movie. I will be 100% honest. I hate that movie.
I have heard. I mean, granted, I've not held my breath for it for a while, but because we already knew it was gonna be kind of iffy. But after the reviews came in and everyone talked about it, I'm like, honestly, I am not at all surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they changed the whole meaning of the movie.
That's what I heard with it too, is they basically changed it all around. I'm like, whatever happened to the theme of the original? Like, did you guys forget it? Or are you guys just on that bad of a streak? No, I think what happened with Snow White probably really threw him for a loop. In fact, I was actually just talking to my family with it tonight, and the comment of, you know, why certain characters were in or were not in it. And when they realized and said, yeah, you know, Gantu's not in the movie, I'm like, wait, isn't he like the whole driving antagonistic force of that? Like,
yeah.
I think he was kind of required for that. And the director said, oh, apparently he's not important to the plot. And I stand by my decision. I'm like, did you and I watch the same movie?
Same movie? Yeah. I mean, Stitch isn't even going to be in the movie. Or isn't in it. Wait, no, he is in it, but I feel like, what's the point of him being in it? You know what I'm saying?
Now, supposedly, because I actually there's a reviewer that I watch actually does a lot of really great stuff. Highly recommend, by the way. And he mentioned because he mentions pros and cons of everything, which are really nice. And he said one of the big pros was that supposedly they actually got the original voice actor for Stitch back on.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, credit where it's due, because he definitely knew how to do it really well. But as far as like everything else is concerned, yeah, the movie was not super great, and it kind of undermined the entire like central plot driving force of the movie of Ohana meaning family. I'm like,
family. Yeah.
I'm like, frankly, I'm not at all surprised that this is exactly what happened with it.
I wasn't. My thing was when I originally saw the trailer for it, you know, I already didn't like the style that the movie was gonna be. Because isn't it like CGI?
It actually, well, Stitch itself was, yes, but the rest of it was actually pretty heavily live action.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan on live action, like, remakes, but I was still gonna watch it because it's Lilo and Stitch. That's one of my favorite Disney movies.
I think a lot of people are kind of done with live action at this point, let's be real.
Yeah, can we go back to, like, the old school drawings? That 2D?
Supposedly, there's been talk saying that they're going to. I'm like, yeah, after you guys hemorrhaged how much money?
At this point, I think they gotta be doing it on purpose for whatever reason.
I don't like that.
They gotta be.
Well, I heard a theory a while ago, and I don't want to call it a dead theory, but it's been one that's floated around for a while, and supposedly it says that the reason why Disney keeps releasing things like that, even if the quality is terrible, isn't necessarily because they don't really care for it anymore, but because they're renewing the trademark on it so nobody else can snatch it.
I heard about that.
So that means, so as far as the trademark is concerned, say for instance like Lilo and Stitch, and they find out, yeah, they've not, Disney's not touched this title for like 20 years, why should we let Disney renew it? Well, Disney can come up and say, hey, I'm working on a movie around Lilo and Stitch, so technically I'm still using the trademark. And the trademark department will go, alright, bet, I won't touch it then.
Yep, I've heard about that, and that's why they're just doing these random movies.
Which honestly though, and as much as it checks out, it kind of sucks, because there's a lot of different places that could take something and really have some fun with it, but they can't because, it's under someone else's ownership. And because it's under someone else's ownership, it makes it really difficult for people to want to do things. I mean, look at Nintendo when it comes to fan games.
My thing is, because my family, we always come together and we have these big conversations about stuff like this. If you don't want to lose the copyright, let's say hypothetically that's what you're doing, but and you want to put out a movie, make it the best movie on the block.
Yeah,
it could be a remake.
You want to actually make it worth going to see.
Yeah, because like your credibility is going down the drain, and if you're not gonna make it good, just let somebody else do it, and let them do their big one.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Honestly,
oh wow,
I'm kind of liking the line art for this.
I like it. I like how that looks.
I was thinking the whole time too, yeah, I was thinking like a black and white theme, like a gothic, but then we're going masquerade. I'm like, honestly, that fit a whole lot better. So we'll do that. So let me move this around. That's so far. Actually making some good time too, honestly. Normally it takes a good while to kind of figure this out, but you and I are on a roll with this one.
Yeah, we sinking.
So let's see. If you said what, like yellow and you said blue and white, or what was your initial thoughts?
I think it was like, I know it was blue, so let me look at it. Hold on.
Yeah, because looking at some different pictures of urchins, I was thinking maybe if we modify it, maybe for like a kind of like throw some yellow in there as an accent.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of like this, like a lot of like lavender purple.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe. Okay, so how about, yeah, because I'm seeing a bunch of these too as I'm kind of staring at these pictures. Let's try like this one. Let's try this. Hold on. Find a closer one. Not quite that one. Actually, no, I think that's a good enough picture. This one. Something maybe. Here we go. I'm gonna send this one to you as well, just so you can take a look at it, see if we're looking at the same thing. Something kind of like that.
That is the one I was looking at.
Yeah, so we can try something like that. Let me pull this up so I'm looking at it. What I'm gonna do...
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do as well, just to make sure that the chat can stay involved with this.
We want to keep you in the loop.
Go into OBS real quick.
I saw a kid once that had a sea urchin broke off in his foot.
Yeah, I've heard those things are apparently really, Okay, hold on, that's bigger than I thought. Yeah, those things apparently have spines that break off really, really easily. They are not the most fun things to have to, pull out, try to deal with, especially when they're venomous like that, too. But yeah, with this being a, what is this, purple sea urchin.
I would just have to cut my foot off.
Yeah, at that point, you know, you have to really think about it. So what I'm thinking we could do, just to kind of emulate this a little bit. Change my brush side a little bit here. We're gonna do white spikes specifically.
Okay.
And then do it maybe on like kind of like a lavender type of dress style.
I like that. It makes it pop. Yeah, but
especially if we're going with the masquerade theme, you know, really bright colors is usually the way to go.
Yeah, like the teals.
Teals, golds, whites. Depending on the area too, lots of greens and yellows.
Oh yeah, like the little sage green.
Looking at brain work with me. Mardi Gras. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to Mardi Gras.
Well, it's definitely very popular with the. Line is this one? Okay, I kind of see what that line is. Never mind. Definitely, if you're down south, it's kind of like a common, regular occurrence up there, or down there rather. Apparently, I'm told they're also super friendly.
Oh yeah, like I live in Florida, and this is where I lived my whole life, really. And it's always been so close. It's not that far away, so
about a day trip,
maybe.
You know.
Yeah, maybe I might have to do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me in Florida, unfortunately. I have terrible heat tolerance.
It's hot. It is already hot here. It is not even summertime. We're still in the spring.
Yep, that would check out down there. I think the last time I was down that far south anyway, it was when my late grandmother was still alive, and she was like 90s, like coming up on her 90s, but she was so staunchly independent. Like you had to literally fight with her tooth and nail just to agree, hey, you can't do this alone. You kind of need help now. And after a fall, because she had kind of divulging some info on it. She had a botched hip replacement surgery that left her with drop foot. So as a result, she didn't have a lot of feeling or a lot of control over her entire left or right leg, one of the two, and it of course made moving around very difficult, and tripping even much so of a hazard. The problem is also in her age, she also had skin like paper. So if she got grazed, she bled everywhere.
Yeah, because your skin is thinner.
Exactly. So it made it really difficult. But finally, after a fall, she's like, "All right, fine, I get it. I can't be alone anymore." So yeah, so you guys can move me up there. And we brought her up here from the airport, and moved her into an assisted living facility not far from us, so we could visit her frequently. And shortly after she was settled, my dad, brother, and I went down to her little assisted living facility, home, I guess I can call it. And we drove all the way down, all the way straight down with it nonstop. We left about, I don't know what it was, maybe like noon or something. I think like 11 o'clock in the morning. Didn't get there until about midnight. And we crashed at her, because we drove straight down. We didn't stop anywhere, aside from maybe like for food. But after we got there, it was after midnight. We crashed at her place and just kind of slept on couches and mattresses and everything. and then at like 7 in the morning, we woke back up and got started with packing up her things. We didn't leave, but we were turning around to leave by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and even by the time the sun was out, around the 10:11 in the morning hour, I was already not happy, and I was miserable. Like, anytime
that heat will get you.
Like, anytime I was outside, if I was not in the shade, I was dying.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, though, we got it all set up and taken care of, because she didn't really have a lot. And, by the time we got back up to the Carolinas, it was about 4 in the morning. We basically went down there, picked all our stuff out, and then drove all the way back, nonstop.
I know y'all slept good when you got home.
I literally looked at my folks and said, never again.
I couldn't do that one.
So I slept real hard at that point when it happened. But what's funny about it, looking back on it, was not 72 hours after we got back and got settled, the first hurricane of the season hit down there.
Yep. That's how it goes. You guys got lucky.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. So we're just happy that we missed a lot of that. Actually,
the hurricanes don't play down here.
No, they do not.
Well, I'll be doing that trip my own self here pretty soon. I'm going to be moving to Colorado.
Oh, fun. I've always wanted to go visit Colorado. I've heard it's so pretty over there.
It looks very pretty. But, like, I've never, like, went personally yet. So I'm, like, really excited to be shocked by it. But I hear it's really nice.
Let's see. Kind of like that. B. I'm gonna figure out my accent colors now.
Oh, that's nice. It's like a deep red a little bit.
Yeah, kind of something similar, kind of emulating the picture here with the different blends of colors.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Then, of course, we need the purple. Let's do more of
a little bit lighter.
I was actually thinking about going darker, something kind of like that.
Oh, really? Okay, let's see.
Something kind of like this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because the color, looking at the picture of the urchin, the purple isn't super bright. It's
it's still a little bit dark.
Yeah, it's more of a subdued color.
Yeah, I think the lightest thing you'll have on there is the blue.
Yeah, so what I can do actually for the blue, because I'm gonna have some fun with this. Do the brooch in like a bright blue color.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Kind of like that. Then let's do the eye in a maroon, the deep color. Do liner purple, like that. You're kind of seeing where I'm going with it, right?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
I'm thinking this is just kind of setting up our colors. Okay. Like this.
There. But no, I don't think there's any other movies that's really coming out this year that I want to see.
Yeah, same. Most of the stuff that I'm gonna be waiting on is not coming out till next year.
Oh, okay. What are those?
Sonic 4.
Oh, yeah.
They confirmed we're getting that, obviously. We also confirmed we're getting that the Legend of Zelda movie's coming out next year, about a week after.
There's gonna be a Zelda movie?
So it's actually been in the pipeline for a while, actually. They just didn't tell us a when. But Miyamoto has been kind of quiet about it for the last while, but they said, yeah, it's been in development for some time now. They haven't said anything on casting, so I'm assuming they're just being quiet on purpose at this point. But yeah, they said apparently Sonic 4 and The Legend of Zelda movie are going to be within like a week of each other.
Oh wow! Do you think they're going to do live action, or is it going to be like?
Oh no, it is. They've confirmed up front it's going to be live action, and it's got a very mixed reception. I get it, but here's the reason why I'm willing to at least wait it out and hear it out, because they also confirmed that much like it was with Mario, Miyamoto has been extremely up close and personal with the development and progress of the movie. If he's been anywhere close to development, much like he was with that one, and the Mario movie was a fantastic success, by the way. Highly recommend if you've not watched it. I'm willing to see how a live-action Zelda will go, because I know it's at least going to be in good hands, because Zelda and Mario are Miyamoto's babies. Like, there's no chance he's going to let those things flop.
Yeah, he's not going to let them butcher it.
Yeah, no chance. So I'm open to at least seeing where it goes.
I'll give it a look-see.
I want to see a trailer first. That's my take. I want to see a trailer before I pass a judgment.
That's fair. I feel like once we get the trailer, we can really like either say we love it or we hate it.
Yes, that's my whole take on it. I want to get a feel for it first before I say anything.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it, so I'll definitely keep my eyes open for it.
It's been talked about for a while, like for the last couple of years, and they've just stayed super quiet about it on purpose, because you know how Miyamoto works. He just suddenly pops up in a direct and says, oh yeah, I've been working on this, have fun. It's like a year and a half in development already.
Hey, but I like that though. Work in silence, so then like when you bring it up, it'll come out within like a year or maybe in a couple months.
How did Miyamoto put it? It says a rush game is forever bad, but a delayed game is eventually good. I'm like, hey, Disney, I think you need to start taking some notes over here.
For real, like, look at this. Take this into some consideration.
Anything.
What if you do the hair blue?
I was just thinking something along those lines, because I was thinking something like a black or a blonde, and I'm like, no, that's not quite gonna match.
I agree.
Or maybe kind of like this.
Yeah, that works perfectly.
Kind of like that, essentially. Kind of going for like an alternative theme, like a Sea Witch or something.
Yeah, that brings in the blues. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
We're cooking with this. See, we're making something happen. Or this little city. There we go. Like that.
Got the joints.
What I'm thinking, though, I might change the color of the gloves, though.
Yeah, because the arms.
Figuring maybe... Yeah, do like a bare white arm. But then maybe, like, say like a purple glove?
I can see that.
Which one do you think would be better, the purple or the red?
I think the purple.
Yeah, let's do the purple for the glove. That'll fit a little more thematically.
I feel like the red will be throughout the skirt a little bit, and that might clash because the glove is really close to the skirt.
Well, the idea with the skirt is, I was gonna do purple on the outside, but then I was gonna do
the red on the inside.
Yeah, something kind of like that.
Kind of like the picture.
Yes, exactly.
I can see that. Oh, what if you make the buttons red on the gloves?
I could do that. Not a problem. Typically the knuckle bolts usually match the color of the glove, but that's not always the case.
Can
They've
bedazzle it.
they've had a lot of very unique cases where they'll color things differently on purpose for whatever reason they decide. But that's honestly something I really love about the series is, even if there are templates and bases that people can build off of, it's almost never the same thing twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, ultimately, and I use this a lot, you could have, and there canonically are, 30 different stag beetle and rhino beetle types, but despite that, no two are the same. Well, for the most part, not exactly the same, I should say. That's the better way to put it, because there's so many different ways that you can interpret a theme.
That is true.
I mean, like I was telling Emeraldo actually when I had him on the last time. You could have, there are also your cat line, your CAT, and there's a handful of models out to follow that one. But despite that, we also have cheetah, panther. We have leopard, and then in Metarod S they also introduced a Moggy, which is kind of like your mixed breed, your mutt type of cat.
Oh, okay.
So there's definitely no reason why you can't take a similar theme that's already been done and do something else with it.
And just remix it.
I mean, even as another example, there actually canonically are a handful of dragon types also in the series. One of them has a model ID of FDR, or Fossil Dragon. And I went and designed a custom a good while ago that was based off Fire Dragon, but I chose to use the same FDR model ID since it fit. Wonder. See how this looks.
Oh.
You gotta see where I'm going with it.
Oh yeah. And that like lines up perfectly with like the circles in the middle.
Yes. I'll do. I'll leave that alone. We need to work around. Now the other really fun part that we're gonna have to try to start figuring out here is naming conventions. That's always been another really unique thing. Because the way Metarots are designed, they have a model ID, but they also have names for all 4 parts in mind. So
you have to like name like left hand, left like leg and stuff like that?
Correct. But typically what they often do as well is they'll find creative or conventional ways to do it. Sometimes they'll do a nod to a theme or a reference to the motif. Sometimes it'll be something as simple as, sword hand, sword arm. So it can be as creative or as simple as you want, and that's honestly what adds a whole new level of depth and creativity to it. And I was just thinking the whole time here with this one, if we could try to find a way to fit it into, 8 Japanese characters or less when it translates, we could even try using phrases, like for instance, "don't touch."
Yeah.
So that was my possibility with it. I'm just not. I'm just not 100% sure what we would be properly naming it as its convention. But if you have any ideas with that, by all means, hit them up, because again, this is not just something I'm putting together. This is something that we're both doing.
I'm thinking about it. I'm already looking at the names. Hold on.
Now, something else I would recommend too, and I do this a lot when I do my conventional stuff, is have you ever heard of DeepL or used DeepL for things?
No, I never heard of it.
So, you know how Google Translate works, right?
Yeah.
So, I recommend this tool for everybody, because it's one of the most thorough tools I've ever used. But basically, DeepL is essentially a translator, much like Google Translate does, but it's much more thorough, and it tries a little harder to keep things in context with what you're typing in there. So say, for instance, if you type in, "hello, my name is," insert something here, insert name here, "welcome to city, I hope you have a good time," you could run that through Google Translate, and you'll still technically get the same context, but the problem is when you translate back and forth, you may miss out on a lot of context because it's trying to translate in other languages, and you may lose some of that. Whereas with DeepL, it typically tries to stay within context and keep it accurate, even if you're translating longer sentences at once.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend detail for that purpose. I can never not emphasize that. It's fantastic for what it offers. There we go. That's a little better.
I am on a hunt.
I'm thinking maybe something kind of like this.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
I might actually do is actually brighten up the LCD for the eye. Ideas with that. Kind of like that, essentially.
For some reason, the bottom half makes me think about. I mean, I know it's just because it's round.
Right. But honestly, though, it's still creative with what we were able to put together because, you know, Urchin's having that very flat, round, very rounded shape, you know, it kind of makes it easier to work with.
Mm.
Right, let me see here. Doesn't tiring out the poor router. Yeah, you gotta love, honestly, when you wear something out to the point you're gonna have to replace it. That's actually what I ended up doing with my phone recently. I finally got to upgrading it. That's I've been holding off for a good amount of time now.
Weirdly enough, my phone has been doing this thing where it doesn't keep charge, so I know I'm about to break down to get a new one.
So how old is the phone by chance?
I got it back in 2019.
Yeah, definitely due for an upgrade.
Oh yeah, it's been.
Having been a former phone salesperson, I can definitely tell you for a fact, if you can make a phone last 4 years, that's actually a pretty good achievement.
I mean, got the phone cracked and everything. I got the screen fixed. Cause like beforehand, you know how some people, you know, they'll chip the screen, be like, it's time for a new one. I'm
Yep.
like, no, not me. If it can be fixed and if it can still like charge and do its like duties, I don't care. But
yeah,
nah, it's starting to
I mean, there's a point where you can still make it work, absolutely, but there just comes a point where it just gets so old that you really can't keep that anymore.
Yeah, you gotta upgrade it. Oh, the way you did the eye, I didn't even realize that.
It's a neat little trick I picked up recently, and I've been kind of holding on to it for a while. I have an idea too. I want to try out, see how well this works. There it is. Try something here, just to kind of help it match, because I just noticed the color mix ever so slightly. Music to make sure that doesn't crap out on me.
Gonna make that red.
Yeah, I'm gonna invert the colors on here, and I'm gonna try to find a newer, different color for the inside. Yeah, see, that's a little bit better. Kind of matches with the inside.
Mm-hmm.
What I can do. Okay, I have an idea. Let's try this. There we go. Let's try that. How does that look?
That's cute. What if you tried just doing the blue on the edges?
So, like right here?
No. Like where, like on the the neck handkerchief, like how was that maroon look? But it's just the edges that are blue.
Okay, I see. Hold on. Let me find that as well. Be something kind of like.
Yeah, that looks.
Okay. Let me try. Do this. Hold on. I want to make it stand out a little bit, so it's not maroon on maroon. That's what I was worried
Yeah,
about.
I know what you mean. You don't want to be touching.
I mean, like, you can do it, but you just have to make sure that you emphasize differences in color.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I like that a whole lot better. What we can do, looking at the color here, let's do this. Let me brighten this up a little bit. Hang on, let me sharpen that.
Nice. I like that. That looks really nice.
Kind of like that, essentially.
I like that. It really makes the brooch stand out.
Yeah, which is ultimately what I'm trying to aim for as well. Actually, hold on. I have another idea that we can do with the handkerchief. What if we do... Ruler back on. There we go. We line it. There we go. Kind of like that.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
Kind of make it stand out a little more.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you can't just like leave the blue just be for the hair. So I think that's a good incorporation.
Yeah, I think I can leave that alone. Because But I'm thinking though, to kind of just kind of round it out a little bit. Go back in here real quick. I gotta try to round this out and imagine what it looks like from the back. I can probably...
My phone's from around in too, and it still has a headphone jack for wired headphones. You know, weirdly enough, that's how I also knew it was time for me to switch my phone, because I cannot put wired headphones in my phone anymore. It does not work. I have to use Bluetooth.
Honestly, I kind of moved over to Bluetooth full time with that with a couple phones back, because it's just the new thing that people are going with these days anyway, so may as well just kind of get with it, essentially. But that's just
I just like the fact that like you can walk away with the headphones on. I think that's the biggest thing, because I like listen to music when I clean and stuff.
Yeah, same.
So being able to like freely move is perfect.
Yes, absolutely. There we go. Something kind of like that.
Oh yeah, that's cute. Mm-hmm. I like that. I can see that being like a little Sonic villain.
I could see it, honestly.
Because of the spikes and everything.
Color on here. Oh.
There we go.
I really think it's pointless to do a white shade on that one because it's not going to show up, so I will just ignore it. Get done with this one ahead of time, honestly, because normally what takes forever is trying to figure out what we want to do with the theme, but we cooked this one up pretty darn quick. So
really? Is that really the main thing?
Usually, because we're usually just standing, sitting here going, okay, well, we could do this theme, and then hit halfway through, we're like, no, we like this theme better, let's redesign it. So honestly, we're cooking quick with this one.
We came in knowing what we wanted, and we got her done. Yeah, I was shocked how fast you got the outline done.
If you do it enough times, you just kind of work your way into a groove.
That's true.
this up later. Okay. Something kind of like this.
I like that highlight.
It's gonna look better when I lower the lightness on it, so it actually looks a little more natural. Usually I leave the brightness when I personally do light dark shades like this, especially since I do a lot of toony based textures. What I typically do is I'll keep it like super bright, where its transparency, as you see, is like 30%, and then when I'm done, I will lower it, say like 15 or 10%. Makes it easier to differentiate when you get that far.
I get that.
Like that.
Oh yeah. Looks nice.
Other side. That. Yeah, that works. Usually the biggest trick is just making sure that you get your light darks balanced, because if your light source is in like in a bunch of different places, it makes it kind of tricky to keep track of where you're at.
Yeah.
That's the biggest struggle I found.
Well, I can get that, because then people are like, well, where's the light coming from? Is it
Yep.
left, right, above?
Yep, that's definitely always been one of the struggles. So I usually just pick one point and use it as uniform. So here's also something else I need to ask, because I've been seeing it flying around for a while. What,
Ooh.
So here's an open-ended question. What got you into wanting to be a VTuber?
Ah, such a good question. The true story behind my VTubing was my brother.
Okay.
He started it and he was looking into it, and so, which I never told anybody this, but my original VTuber model was made by him.
Okay.
And he did, like, it was like a pirate. It was still Egyptian themed, but it was a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like kind of left it alone. And then I think 6 months to like a year later, I really sat down and I thought about it and I created one. But there was some, with anything, there's some stop and go, some things come up.
Right.
So I want to say it was December 31st, or was it 31st? I don't even. Is there even 31 days? Hold on. But it was New Year's Eve of 2023, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do VTubing. I'm gonna do this for real. So I made my model all in one night for New Year's, and that's when I hard launched it. Like I showed everybody that.
You're just like, all right, send it. Let's, like, all right, we're balling. Let's go.
Yeah, if I don't do it now, it's never getting done.
That's essentially what happened with me too, yeah.
So I was like, yep, here we go, and been on it ever since. So I think I'm coming back up on, technically it's like 4 years.
Nice.
But if we're talking about me like doing it consistently, it's been like a year and a half.
Nice. I mean, even then, that's still an impressive milestone.
Yeah. I've learned a lot.
That's the most important thing with it, though, is that you learn.
Mm-hmm. Just learning what you're doing. Yep. So that's the main reason behind the VTubing.
What kind of content inspired you to want to pursue it?
once again, my siblings, my brothers, they were already content creating, so I knew I wanted to do something in that arena. So it matched perfectly. Of course, this isn't like the only thing I do. I have like other work and other jobs.
Yeah, obviously.
That's like my nice little side thing I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice to have a side gig that keeps you going, you know?
Oh yeah, this is like really what lets my creativity out, and it's just fun. You get to network with people, hang out with new people.
Now I have to ask, on the topic of networking, because I've been seeing it showing up more and more, have you looked into Voop Chat?
Voop Chat? No, I haven't.
So it's this really neat little thing. I didn't even know it existed until recently, but it's been making a lot of waves, and it's apparently, you remember Omegle, right?
Oh yes, of course I do.
So take Omegle, but make a platform exclusively for VTubers or content creators in general, but it's nowhere close to as obscene or gross as the Risk of Omegle was.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like, I don't know. Omegle was kind of wild.
Yeah, but basically you use this to network. So they'll kind of like how Omegle works is they'll pair you with a random person every few minutes, and you just communicate, talk, get to know each other, and then
what is it called?
Voop Chat, VUPECHAT. They've got a Discord set up for it and everything, and they do like weekly get-togethers and chats where they'll have everyone hop on, and then they'll do like a lightning round or whatever.
Oh wow!
But yeah, that's been making rounds for a while now, and so I tried it a couple times, and the couple times I did, even after I joined their Discord, it's been nothing but super nice. Like even the welcoming committee that goes on there when they confirm that new people join has been nothing short of pleasant.
Oh, that's cool. I'm actually gonna join their Discord real quick. I didn't know about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't even know either until they said, yeah, we're celebrating our 1 year since the launch of the platform. We're like, huh, neat. Because I was kind of thinking to myself, I should really learn to get into some more networking at some point, because I'm kind of in my own little bubble over here, and I need to get to know more people. But no, honestly, like I said, it's been nothing but pleasant. Everyone's been super nice, so highly recommend.
Oh, most definitely. I will be using it up. I think that's like one of the hardest things of that, like, really. I feel like a lot of VTubers feel like that's like the hardest thing is just doing the whole, networking, finding other people that they gel with.
Yep. That's definitely the big issue, and I hear a lot of people say the same thing. Oh, I want to network, but I don't know who. I don't know a lot of people, or I don't know how to connect. Well, this kind of does the hard work for you. You just have to show up.
Yep.
No, but I highly recommend trying out the actual website too, like setting up your model to it and just kind of seeing what pops up from it.
Okay, I'll definitely give it a try.
That's some really nice folks there already.
I will definitely give that a good old try. Thank you.
It's pretty much like you said, networking for some reason seems to be that one thing that most VTubers and content creators in general typically tend to have problems with. What I found really neat about it too is the fact their website is actually quite versatile with it too, because they have it set up to where if you're a PNG tuber or a 3D tuber or anything like that, it gives you full access and freedom as long as it just takes certain model formats. So if you wanted to use your 3D model, for instance, you just have to upload it and configure the camera, and you're basically good to go.
Oh, that's perfect. Yep, I'm all signed up now.
Yeah, definitely give it a try after we hop off here. It's been about 10-15 minutes getting to know people.
Oh yeah. The shading's looking great though.
It's gonna be a little more subtle in just a minute. Right now what I'm doing is just putting everything together. A little subtle. That's a little bit. That's better. Kind of like that.
That's good. Yeah. That's perfect.
I like this, honestly. It came out really nice.
It really did.
Now we have to figure out is a model name and some part names. Hold up.
Looking, but I don't have to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways that we could take this. Looking at the design, find it. I want to check and see if URC is available as a model ID. I think it is, but I want to make sure before I go using one. We could do that for Urchin.
Mm-hmm.
Or even PUR for Purple Urchin.
Yeah, that could work.
Let's take a look and see. Okay, URC is clear. Let's see PUR. PUR also is clear, so we could do both of those. What are you thinking? PUR or should we do URC?
URC.
Okay, we can do that. So let me type this in. We can keep an eye on those. There we go. So URC 00. There's no other URC type. I'm thinking.
Thanks.
Switch this around. Looking at Deep L, like I said, for some. How about Lady Touch?
Oh yeah, because we've been saying no touch throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, so we can try that and kind of play on the word of don't touch.
Yep.
So. Touch. We can do that. What's something else we can do for that as well? Something along the lines of don't touch.
Let me think.
We could do spike dress for the legs.
Yeah.
We have that one. We could even use lady touch for the head part if we want to do something more unique. We have don't touch.
What about refrain hand? I don't know. Let's throw something.
Let's try. Refrain hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could do that. Refrain hand.
Yeah.
Let's do something different and save. Let's do something different for the head. I'm thinking urchin something, but there's got to be a name for a head for ladies' headwear we could use for it.
Let me think. Okay, so what word do you want to use for it? Do you have any idea? Because we're working on the head, right?
Yes. Well, I have an idea for urchin cap at the moment, but I don't quite like how that sits. Needs something with a, what's the word? Like kind of like a feminine flair kind of thing.
What about urchin lily?
Hmm.
I don't know. That doesn't have like a ring to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Let me look at some ideas. Names for women's hats. See what comes out. Hat style. Hat styles. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I'm kind of getting some ideas here.
We'll see.
How about, hold on, let me try this. Let's see if this works. Urchin cocktail? Apparently
cool.
that's a name for a type of hat.
What about Trilby Spike? That's also a name for a hat. It's Trilby.
Trobe, I'm assuming?
It's Trilby.
Trilby. Trilby. Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Trilby. Trilby cocktail.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
4, 5. It's unfortunately one character too long. Let's try style. 5, 6. Not quite.
Cloche. That's the name for a hat.
You could also just do lady cap instead,
That works.
or even
That
stun,
does work.
or even like stun cap.
Do stun cap.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
That sounds
So
like something you'll find in the sea.
So hold on. 4, 5, 6. We could do. Okay, so here's what I have so far that we could try. So we'll go with the running name of Lady Touch for the model name, with part names of Stun Cap, Don't Touch, Refrain Hand, and Spike Petticoat.
I like that.
It looks like we got ourselves our theme here, so we can make that work. Let me see. Look at this again. Look at John in my chat. Hi, Lurking. Also saw a meta art that looks like very much Transformers group from RID 201. Talking about the bullet train. Yeah, there actually was originally. They originally started as one bullet train, Super EXP in Medarot Navi, but then when they went back and when they went back and did Metarots 9, they realized they're going to need one to counteract him as a counterpart, so they made EXP7. So technically there's one, but two bullet train types, and I am of the vehement feeling that there needs to be more, but it's not quite been a thing, unfortunately. So I've been making a bunch of locomotive types in my free time. 1200. Alright, let me double check what the size was for my other Orimedas, just so I can keep up to date. Pull up the one I did with Emeraldo. Find canvas size, what was it? 2000 by 2700, okay. That's plenty of room. Okay, canvas size this way. 2700. Before.
Hold on. That did not want to work.
Oh, what's going on over there?
No, I was doing like a little bit of work on the side and something
gotcha.
didn't go through.
Gotcha. Team Bullet Train is from Transformers. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, actually. And it's funny because right after the Godzilla collab ended in the Medarot S channels in the Medarot server, we were actually just talking about the possibility of what other collaborations might be incoming. And somebody mentioned Shinkalion as an idea. I'm like, listen, as much as I'm 100% down with seeing more train representation in Medarot, I don't think we're due for a collab anytime soon after Godzilla just ended. That one bled a whole lot of people's things dry. Baby touch. had stun cap. Gotta lower this. Oh, hyper thunder. Let's make this one heavy. We'll have don't touch, which was Meta Rose. Make that one also heavy. We had Refrain Hand, which was Hold. Then Spike Petticoat, which was C with cleanup. Alright, let's shrink that just a little. There we go, kind of like that. Flip this over. Actually, no, I'll leave that there. Oops, no. Shift these over some. Like that. Okay, and then kind of like this.
All right.
Go back in here.
Oh, I think it came out really good.
Honestly, I like it. It came out really, really nice. Very, very classy type of design. Now what we can do, and one layer here. So, oh, that's what that comes the fun part of working on some of the concepts from other angles, what it looks like. So, say for instance, the arm. We want to reinforce this from other angles and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So something kind of like so. Like that. Kind of like this, so hold it in place. Kind of like that of what the, kind of like what the side of the arm would look like.
Yeah.
Do the dress here as well, just to show what Okay, for my rule.
Like showing the detail of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Something that you wouldn't be able to see because it's underneath. Kind of like that, essentially. Kind of like what the inside of the leg looks like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I like it.
The only other thing I could think of, and I just realized I drew this on the ruler layer. Dang it, I do that every time. Oh well, that's fine. I can do it again proper. Glad that right is over here. That's fine. Shift it. Grab. Grab them. Yes. Shift those over right there.
You got fixed up.
There we go. That's a little bit better.
Cute. Makes me think of like a little cactus.
Well, urchins are definitely known to be very prickly little things. The other thing I want to touch base on as far as the concept is concerned is the hat. So, make it properly curved like that, essentially. Well, no, I take that back. Like that. So what I'm thinking essentially is the brim won't actually be fully covered all the way around, but actually have like a break in the middle of it. So it actually looks like a proper, you know, like flowing cap.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, oh, the spikes are a little spacious, so. Like that.
I like that. I definitely like all the spikes.
Yeah, those are definitely a very, very intricate, integral part of the design. I think those came out really good too. this a little bit, see if I can. I also this mode. Looks like no.
The broom. Like a little diamond.
Figuring something kind of like this, kind of separated, broken brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that.
Know what the hat looks like from the top.
Mm-hmm. From a different viewpoint.
That in the wrong. Dang it. I hate when I do that. That's so often you'd think I'd actually catch myself on it eventually. Like that overall.
There you go.
And it's on the proper layer this time, which I'm happy about.
Yep. It's on the right layer.
How's that old drawing meme work with Clip Studio art? Hide the layer! You know, hide the sketch, Crunk! Wrong layer!
I hate that when you're drawing and like you think you're doing so great and then it's like wrong layer for 30 minutes.
Yep, that's exactly how it be sometimes. You'd think that we would have found a way to make, you know, artists would have come up with a creative way to think of that at some point after a while.
Or like switch it.
Let me shrink this just a hair. What about- like that assumption. Just to kind of emphasize the length of the frame as well.
Yeah, so they can get the whole picture of it.
Exactly. Positions and stuff here. Good thing I forgot to do Slayer, but I can do that pretty quick. Nice 50.
Cute. Doing like a little
bit of a
highlight
shade. Yeah, a little bit of a glow effect. Okay. This up. Alrighty, so now grab our main colors here. Get them out.
There we go.
Like that. Move this over just a little bit as well. There, just so it stays out of the way. Honestly, though, I'd say that about does it.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I really can't think of anything else we could do to improve it, because I think we pretty much got down the concept of what we were wanting to put together.
I mean, it looks great. Oh, 1 second. That's my lunch dinner. But yeah, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, honestly, I think we did a pretty good job with this. So the last step in particular, up here.
Right, we gotta put that signature on there. It's a fiesta. Hey, we did pretty good.
Like that.
Yep. That looks
Okay,
perfect.
what I'll do as well, grab these and cut this sides on it just a little holes in this face. Like that. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, let me put that up real quick. Alright, honestly, I'd say in about... Honestly, we got this one done quick. Like, we're just now coming up on, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we got done with this one quick. But honestly, I think it came out really well done. We had a lot of really creative feedback with the design and kind of figuring out what made this, what we wanted to do to put this thing together. And looks like a very stylish thing that you'd see on the field pretty commonly.
Yeah, I think we did a bang-up job.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, I'm honestly shocked that we got it done as quick as we did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, honestly, I'd say that's... I really have nothing else to say. It came out really nice. You have any overall feedback on it? Kind of... What, did it kind of fit in a vision you were thinking of when you put it together as well in your mind? You know, as you looked at it?
It definitely did. I didn't expect it to come out this great. It looks really good.
That's honestly what I'm...
coloring.
That's actually kind of what I really liked about it too. Is it actually came out fairly solid. And I mean, when we had the idea of Urchin, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see an idea that we're going with here. And then I just kind of played around with it. And honestly, I didn't have to change a whole lot of stuff on here aside from the color once or twice. But even then...
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
No, and honestly, it came out really nice. I think we came with a very solid design overall, very solid kit. Now, I think overall, if they were to implement it, they would definitely give it something else other than Meta Rose, because that is kind of a... I'm not going to say it's an exclusive skill, but they have never actually implemented a special skill as something that was not a head skill, because it's considered different compared to regular ones. Now, what they could probably do is maybe swap the head and the right arm skills around and kind of justify it, or they could just give
Yeah.
it, or they could just give it something else to step aside. But honestly, no, and especially with Marine Up being the way it is, that could be a very nasty skill overall. They
I think it's
actually
set up perfectly.
they actually just released Marine Up as well with Ghost Ship, which was designed by the creator of Macross with Meta Survivor, and it's honestly just kind of nuts how that works, because you don't think on aquatic terrain you're going to be using a whole lot, but no, if you're on aquatic terrain with Marine Up, you are going to basically disappear.
Oh wow.
It's obscenely hilariously good. Like, I can't emphasize that enough because of how good it is. They actually first released it with a variation called Forest Up, and I joke around with friends of mine on that where it's basically just domain expansion forest, because the second you're on forest terrain, you disappear, you're gone, and no one's touching you.
Oh wow.
So honestly, Marine Up having something as well in a terrain that a lot of people are already going to be struggling on anyway only just makes it even more of a pain in the neck.
You got like
And
a super powerful lady.
and what makes this hilarious is the fact that this one is almost all entirely close range. So even though it's funny because urchins don't really move on their own, this is one that you don't want to be anywhere near, which is fine because it's going to be getting close to you anyway.
It's gonna make its way.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely going to be making its point very clear across the board the second it hits the field. But no, honestly, I'd say that's a pretty good place to call it, since I think we pretty much reached the goal here of what we were planning to do.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah, indeed. But before I do officially wrap us up here and prepare to say farewell, is there anything that you have incoming that you'd like to announce incoming? I know you said you had your hand cam diorama thing you were planning on, but any big collabs or any big events down the pike that you have planned or incoming, or just kind of stay tuned on your channel for more?
That I would definitely say, I'm working on a couple of like VTuber karaoke streams, stuff like that I'm getting all situated and getting all like the background work done for. But it pops up. You got to keep an eye for it, because things can change, so you never really want to like say it in the
Yeah,
moment and then it
absolutely.
gets canceled.
Because you don't
But
know if things are going to change, like the second you hit, hey, I'm doing this, and suddenly everyone calls out.
yeah, because conflicting schedules, working with different people, which is totally fine. So I mean, I would just basically just keep an eye out. That's my
Definitely.
big thing.
And definitely make sure that you follow Grimalkin on her channel as well, with with the content that they bring. Lots of very chaotic and zany things too, just based on the clips alone that I've seen. But definitely worth the follow to go see. Wonderful stuff and a really great friend. Thank you so much for being able to spend some time with me here on the MNN to do a creative art stream. Was an absolute treat to have you.
Thank you. I had a wonderful time. I love the creation that came out of it, and I wouldn't mind doing it again. It was
Yeah,
tons of fun.
I'd be down for it, honestly. Even if it was off stream, just kind of figuring something out, we could definitely try to cook up something.
Oh yeah, I think
All
it'll
right.
be fun.
All right, but with that again, thank you so much, Graham. It was a pleasure to have you. I'm gonna go ahead and say farewell here and mute out everything. If you don't mind camping out for just a little bit after I go off the air, I would appreciate that. But
Okay,
otherwise, yeah, I'd say that was great work. I enjoyed having you here once again, and thank you again for coming, Grim.
of course.
Out. All right. Well, with that being said, I believe we came to a very creative conclusion here with the design that we came, and also with some impressive time too. Normally we have these finished after like 3.5 hours, but no, honestly, if this kind of speed keeps up to where we can knock these out pretty quick, I wouldn't be shocked if in future ones we can probably go back to revisit, doing more than one at a time, much like I did with Sane. But who knows? Now, as far as stuff that is incoming, like I said, I will be stepping back just a little bit as far as other streams are concerned, because I will be doing some final prep in this week for my anniversary. I will be putting out the date and time for that. Well, the date's obvious. It's going to be June 3rd, since my anniversary's on a Wednesday this year. But I will be doing my meta coverage as usual, but I will be streaming it to celebrate my 4-year anniversary. And I have a very, very special gift and presentation to put together and surprise to celebrate 4 years. So I am very, very excited for that. I still, to this day, can't believe I've actually made it to 4 years. It's honestly crazy I've made it that far, but I wouldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. But again, I will be holding back on streams as far as this week is concerned and for final preparations of that. So it's going to be relatively quiet on the workshop floor for a while, but I believe it will be fully worth it when that time comes. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kuura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.